Canadian.
From Canada, the east part of Ontario.
I grew up in Bakersfield, California, but I live in Chicago now.
My name is Patrick Murphy and I'm from Bangladesh. No, I'm I'm obviously from Ireland. I'm from the south part, a place called Cork City. And I moved here in 1992. And it was my second time on an airplane. And I was so excited that I saved the napkins from Delta Airlines. So I was like, oh my God, a napkin. And I arrived, I still have the napkin, and I arrived in Atlanta. I flew from Shannon to Atlanta, and I had $414 in my pocket, right? A suitcase and a bag. That was all I had, $414, which was an accomplishment because I was only making $2 an hour, or £2 an hour, right? In Ireland, that was the job, right? So I had saved that much money, got through university, and I still had 404. I was positive, I wasn't in debt. And I landed in America, and I was at Atlanta. I was like, oh my God, I'm in America. And I said, I'm going to have a hot dog. And when you guys go to Ireland and you go to the Guinness factory, I was in Atlanta. I'm going to have a Coca-Cola. Where they make it, because it's always better when they make it. So I ordered a hot dog and a Coca-Cola, and it was $14. And I said, Jesus Christ, this country's expensive. It was automatically down to $400. And that's my story.
And he has $450 now, so things are going swimmingly well.
I said I was from Cork. Pay attention.
I'm from England. Katie, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go Steelers! And currently living in Chicago, just like Pete.
I am from England. I was born in the middle of England. Coventry is a car town. I tell people it's like Detroit, but without the charm. So it's a rough place, but full of good people. You know, factory town, kind of like this one, right? Factory town, working class people, and a pub on pretty much every single corner, and maybe 3 or 4 in between those. You could literally walk in any direction in the middle of the town, and if you went into every pub, you'd fall over by the time you got to the next street. I came to America in 1985, so I've been here a long time. Lived in America now longer than England, and originally LA, Los Angeles. And my flight, I got the cheapest I could, so I went from London to Manchester to Bangor, Maine. Right? Bangor, Maine, I went through customs in Bangor, and then Bangor to Los Angeles. On a bi-wing aircraft, no. And Patrick and I, we'll cover this one for you, because I know you probably want to ask. Patrick and I met in Los Angeles in like mid-90s. 94, 95. I was living down there. I was in advertising back then. I was an art director with a band on the side. And Patrick, an Irish pub opened up 1 block from my house. And I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. I was like, every day I'd just sit outside and watch them put the green paint on there, Celtic symbols. And eventually it was open. I was like knocking on the door practically the first day. And Patrick was the manager and bartender there. So I went in and I got them a gift. I framed up a nice old Guinness poster in a beautiful frame. And I walk in and shake their hands. I'm Steve Twigger, I live around the block. You'll be seeing a lot of me here. Just want to welcome you to the neighborhood, and here's a gift. And that's how we met. And shortly after that, well, we'll fill the details in a minute. But that's how we met originally.
So that was one question, where are you from? So this is going to be a long Q&A.
Two questions.
Okay.
I've watched you guys for about 15 years, and I'm absolutely amazed how fresh you were 15 years ago and how you've maintained that freshness. And I'd like to know how you've maintained that freshness. Question two, does Patrick ever give a straight answer to the question in the first round?
No.
How do we keep fresh? Sure, antiperspirant.
Okay, so he said axe. The other day I was at the, I ran out of deodorant, right? I used Degree, the rub-on stuff, right? And I was at the Walgreens in Chicago, and I was just like, you know what? I don't think that works anymore. I think my body has some sort of, it doesn't work anymore. So I bought some Axe. I went directly to Axe, yeah, I opened my hand, right?
High school kid deodorant.
And he just said it's high school kid deodorant. I didn't know that. There was a whole selection, so I just bought winter, spring, or something like that. And I sprayed it up the other day, and I hit him in the face, and they all make so much fun of me for using Axe. So that's how we stay fresh. I have no idea. That's a really good question.
Just a truthful answer. So back, I'm sure people ask about Titanic, and so whatever, we'll skip that for now. But the phone was ringing off the hook, basically, after that movie, and we had opportunities to go all over the country and play festivals. But we were having so much fun in Santa Monica at the pub, just playing on a Sunday night. We had our regulars that would come down. There'd be, if it was a holiday Monday, there'd be lines around the block in Los Angeles to come see us before anybody had heard of the movie. So we were having a great time. And then we made the decision to take the leap and go out on the road. We did a couple of, we sort of got our feet wet, went to a couple of places, went, oh wow, that was just as much fun, but bigger, you know, so, and we made a promise to each other back then that the day it stops being fun is the day we quit. And here we are, still 22 years later, doing it. And you know, that's both cause and effect, because you don't want it to not be fun, because you don't want to stop. And so we continually make it fun. You know, there are days when it's hard work, as you can appreciate, you know, but we have it easy compared to a lot of jobs. And honestly, when you walk out on stage and people are smiling and laughing, and they come up and they shake your hand and they look you in the face and say thank you, who gets to do that? Who? You know, that's a dream job. That's anybody's dream job.
So that's why we brought the committee members on stage last night. And, you know, because they work so hard. This festival is fantastic. I mean, the amount of work that goes into it, just everything from the fences, this tablecloth, toilets, the insurance, permits, you name it.
Toilets are
great. Somebody has to organise the porta potty. So the first time we played here, we were talking to Greg and Doug says, if there's anything you need backstage, let me know. I said, yeah, a porta potty. And he went, oh my God, I never thought of that. Because the porta potties were on the other side of the fence, right? And I was like, well, he goes, well, can you go over? I said, yeah, I'll go over there, no problem. But you know, if you need one backstage, true story, about 15 or 20 minutes later, 6 guys are coming down the That's dedication right there. And they bring the porta potty, and every suggestion we give them, they listen. So, but they never get to see all the accountants, the people that take care of all the stuff, the insurance in the background. They never get to see what we get to see. So that's why we brought them on stage last night, just to go, because as Steve said, the 90 minutes that we get on stage, it's amazing. No matter how tired you are, And no matter what you've been through, right 2 months before the show, whether it's an argument in the band, or it's an argument with my wife, or whatever's going on in your own personal life, ladies and gentlemen, Gaelic Storm, and you walk out like, oh, I'm so tired, and then you look and go, oh, look at this. And you change, I do, and you go, and you go, oh, this is the reason why I do this. For the 24 hours in a day, the 90 minutes on set, on stage, is what we look forward to. And it's good, it's a great feeling, it's a beautiful thing to see all those people out there and all the kids smiling. And I said it last night, it's great, the kids go to live music, and it's just a beautiful feeling, and it keeps you fresh. That and accent. Oh, sorry, the gentleman in the hat there.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll go next, is that right? Thanks.
Do you recall the conversation I had with you guys in 2017?
I don't remember the conversation we had last night. So.
What did we say? Where are you from again? I remember you. Where are you from?
Anyway, I was dealing with you guys. I told you guys I was Irish.
Okay.
And you guys laughed real big. Are you going to laugh again?
I hope so.
Well, anyway, I like Irish music.
Yes.
I like to dance to it. You guys are great. And I'm going to change my name from Abu to Abu.
Thank you, Oabu. Where you from, Oabu? Where you from?
A long time ago from Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone, the capital is Freetown.
I think from a smaller town.
Okay.
I lived in Freetown for 1 year.
See, I'm Irish, I know the capitals of African countries. I don't know why I know that, but there you go. Yeah.
I was just going to ask you, you guys all have families and stuff. Is it really hard being on the road trying to connect with your kids, with your even with your wife, your husband? And do you have a downtime?
So the question is, did you hear that? You know, being away from your wife and your kids, and how do you cope with that?
To be honest, this job is great in the respect that we get large chunks of time off. You know, so we took 3 months off, and then we pack all these tours in really tight. So by the end of those 3 months, your kids are like, yeah, please just go. Yeah, but you know, when you get quality time, so it's really good.
I always say that me being away so often is the cornerstone of my marriage. So, you know, we joke about it, but there's, as you can probably imagine, there's days when you wish you could just transport yourself back home and vice versa, and it's tough. And then it was tough for the guys, you know, they're kind of new fathers, some of them.
Yeah.
Pete on the end, his wife is expecting another second kid, and Finn is how old now? Yeah. So his other baby's a year and a half old, and so I'm sure it's.
I think it's very tough for the wives, because not only are they taking care of the kids by themselves, but they have full-time jobs as well. So which is really hard with 2 kids. I mean, you know, my son is now 7 and my daughter's 4, and I don't know how she did it. With both kids in diapers and a full-time job by herself. You know what I mean? And then I come on, just this March tour, we did a fantastic run of like 22 shows or something, and we were at the House of Blues in Chicago on Saturday night, and a friend of ours took the best picture in the 21 years. It's the only picture I've saved to my phone, because it's a brilliant photograph of the House of Blues in Chicago, and place is going nuts, and everyone was like, Gaelic Storm. And that was Saturday night, and I flew home Sunday, and my kids are, hi Dad. I'm like, oh hi, how's it going, how are you? And then my wife says, can you empty the dishwasher? And I was like, I was on stage last night. And then I emptied the dishwasher, and then I changed my daughter's diaper. You know what I mean? So it goes from to, and it's been gone so long, I forget where the glasses go. But the wives are fantastic. They really are.
What about Katie?
Pardon me?
What about Katie?
What about Katie?
Well, I'm not married and I don't have kids, so I'm about 20 years younger, so no.
Nice.
Katie, these guys have all been consistent in the 15 years I've been watching them.
Yes.
But I'm not sure what number fiddler you are in Gaelic Storm.
I think 24 now.
What is the challenge for you in this role, especially given so many that you have followed?
Well, I've been listening to the band actually since I was about 10 or 11 years old. I was first introduced to them when they came out to Pittsburgh. Actually, yeah.
Way to bring up how old we are again.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've been familiar with their music for a very long time, and I've been playing violin since I was 4. So, learning the music was not too much of a problem because I, knew half of it already before I joined the group. But yeah, it's been great. There's been so many fiddle players before that are inspiring and great musicians. So it's been one of the coolest parts for me was to go through the old tracks and kind of learn the stuff and actually kind of give it the attention it deserved. And
Have you talked to some of your predecessors?
yeah, I'm good friends with some of them, and was friends with them even before I was even joining the band. So that was kind of fun to make the call. And be like, guess what? Guess he called me. So yeah.
We have one story. Tell the story from Dublin.
Yeah, we told us on Friday night. There was a girl in the audience. She was about 15 or 16, and she was freaking out. And she loves Gaelic Storm, and she was just having. And then we played a set of tunes, and she was freaking out. And the guy behind her said, "Will you ever shut up?" To the 16-year-old child, right? And she turned around and she goes, "This is my favorite band, and they're playing my favorite set of tunes." And the guy goes, "I don't care, shut up," right? To the 16-year-old child. And she said something to him, and he just took his beer and he dumped it over her head. Yeah. Right? That was about 10 years ago. So on Friday night, I said, and I told that story on stage, and I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, that 16-year-old girl is on stage with us right now." It was Katie.
Yeah, that actually is true. But
And I said "Hey, and by the way, the gentleman, the guy who threw that beer over Katie's head, if you're in the audience, this is for you." I know there's children here, sorry, but...
and I should say the first time I was actually on stage with them was when I was actually probably 10 or 11, and I was dancing with them in Pittsburgh. So it was always a big deal when they would come to Pittsburgh Irish Fest. And we as kids really look forward to seeing the band and getting a chance to join them on stage. So everywhere we go, we try to get dancers up locally and try to continue the tradition that they've been carrying on for so long.
Now we feel really, really old. Really.
I grew up in Wexford. It's about 30 minutes north of Pittsburgh.
I lived in Pittsburgh in the early 70s.
Okay.
I was doing my master's at the University of Pittsburgh.
Amazing.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Great city.
I lived in Shadyside.
Shadyside.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I lived there for a brief period of time as well. Great neighborhood.
Glasses I get.
The question was how a Canadian gets into an Irish band.
All the good Canadian bands were taken at the time. I don't know. I started playing all the bagpipes and the whistle and stuff when I was a little kid. Not for really any good reason. I had a couple cousins and stuff that played. And the only band that you can do that in is basically an Irish band. So by default. I get stuck in the genre of music, I guess.
I have a question. Okay, I've seen you guys on the East Coast, Massachusetts, and New York. Where is your favorite place in the country to play?
Oh, you can't say it.
I have to ask.
Wisconsin.
The question was, where is our favorite place to play? And
That's hard.
that's tough to say, yeah, because, you know, Waterloo is great.
Good answer.
Look, every place has its own character. We play all the way up in Maine. We play up in the hills, in the remotest part of Maine. You lose cell phone service for about 30 minutes, and then it's a dirt road. And there's a venue out in the forest that a folk musician put together, and it's a great venue. So we play up in places like that, and it's, you know, the audience is right there, set of tables right in front of you. And we play all the way down in Key West, in Florida. We play all the way at Port Angeles, all the way up on the Sound, up in the Northwest, in the Puget Sound up there. And of course, all the way down. So, and we crisscross the country. Here's a better question. What the hell is a fantastic Irish festival doing in a town in the middle of nowhere, Iowa? This festival has astounded us and everyone else in the country. I'm not sure you're aware, but to do what this festival has done, start from scratch and catch up and overtake some of the great festivals out there that have been going for 35 years, is an astounding feat. Testament to, take care, sir. Yeah.
Don't forget, Abu.
Oh, Abu, gotcha. We'll have t-shirts next year. It's testament to the dedication of the people and the mission that they set themselves up for to do a quality event for the people of our Iowa and the surrounding state. I heard there's like people coming from 12 different states to the festival, and it's just fantastic. So we love it. We love it here. We love it on the East Coast. They're all great. They're all great.
Yeah, Steve, can I do a follow-up to that? Sure. I've been retired for 17 years. All I do is go to motorcycle rallies and Irish Fests and Bluegrass Fests. And I've been coming to this for the last 4 years, and I've been all over the country as well. You've been obviously a lot more places than I have. But I've never seen anything like this festival in terms of the quality of talent. I just about blew off Milwaukee's Irish Fest last year because I thought the talent here was better. Wow. You know, not as broad, but really better. And it takes great sponsors who are willing to lay in to make this happen. But is there any festival that's better than this for this size that you've seen? If there is, I want to go to it.
Well, Dayton, Ohio had a great lineup last week. Dayton, Ohio, and of course we all saw what happened last night. And I was texting the guy who runs that festival. I said I hope everyone's safe in the community. And we were all in that same street. We were actually in that. We saw the shooting on Google Maps, and we had lunch and dinner at Toy 9. It's a Thai restaurant, and it's on the same. And we go to that. One of the bagpipers that Pete Snow was in the Irish pub on that same street last night, and you know. Sorry. But Dayton, Ohio has a great lineup. There's a little girl over here and she's had her hand up for quite a long time. What's my favourite song to perform?
What's your favorite song? Oh, you're on the spot now.
It's funny, we usually finish the set with Tell Me Ma, which is a children's song actually. It's a skip jumping rope thing. What do you call that?
She learned it in the workshop.
Oh. And we pretty much play it every night.
Yeah, it's become kind of a theme for us. The Tell Me Ma song. Like I say, it's a skipping song. You know, children's skip ropes. They would sing on the streets in Belfast, and there's been various versions of it. Great versions of it over the years, and it was one of the first songs that we learned. And I don't think there's been a night when we've not played it.
So
yeah.
And no matter how, so there are songs that you play, and then you get sick of playing them, and you drop it from the set list. But Tell Me Ma, no matter how many times we play it, it's just such a happy song, and everyone starts dancing. So I'm gonna go with Tell Me Ma. All right.
Okay, speaking of dancing, so I'm an Irish dancer from Des Moines, and I just downloaded Katie's newest album, and it has rehearsal tracks. This isn't really a question, but just thank you for the rehearsal tracks.
Oh, that's great. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So I'm not sure if you realize Katie is a fantastic Irish dancer in her own right. She dances and she teaches fiddle, and because she knows dance so well, she's able to put the tunes together that she knows the dancers would enjoy dancing to. So what's your new album called? It's called Footnotes. So for any aspiring dancers out there, and thank you for downloading it.
Oh,
What's he need?
oh!
Is that too many?
You don't need too many prizes. Thank God.
So yeah.
I've got a question for you, Steve. Why does whiskey never win?
So if you see the song Me and the Moon, he's asking why whiskey never wins. Right? We divide the audience. And it's because that's not my team, and I have the microphone. And I'm slightly biased. That's all. I cheat.
You sound like those who told you about
Bottle, can, or keg?
Bottle cap? Yeah, I'd say keg. Yeah, every time. People ask too, is it better in Ireland than it is over here?
Yes. I'm sorry.
It used to be very, very rare to get a good pint of Guinness in America, I have to say. But
Speaking of which, is there anyone here from the festival? Because I just finished this one.
He's coming up.
He's coming up.
He's coming up the steps.
you guys are awesome. But we were going to take a break.
As a matter of fact, we could just stay here and we could do a show for you guys.
A dancing and whistles show.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Does like Guinness translate to anything, or is it just like the name of the beer?
It's the name of the guy who invented it. His name is Arthur Guinness. And are you ready for this? He bought the piece of land in Dublin and he signed a lease. I think it was for 10,000 years. Yeah, and he goes, I'll pay 250 pounds. And he did this in 1759. And he signed the lease for the land for 250 pounds for 10,000 years. And they still pay that. And they all thought he was crazy. Isn't that crazy?
That's
it's something like that. I could be off a little bit. But they all thought this guy's crazy. 250 pounds. Next question, Chicago. Is that a Bears hat? Oh my God. Burn it. I have 3 Bears fans in the band. Steve, who's your favorite football team?
Patrick, I don't watch basketball, you know.
How what? How scared? Well, here's the thing. He was a regular at the bar for a long time, and he was a nice guy. But he was smoking, and the thing is, the reason why, this isn't in the song, but he was smoking the cigarette, and I kicked him out. And a couple of weeks later, he came back to the bar, and I bumped into him, and I was holding my girlfriend's hand at the time. She was my fiancée at the time, so he knew her, right? And he says to me, Murphy, is that your girlfriend? I said, no, that's Susie, or that's my fiancée. And he looks at me and he says, is that the best you can do?
We're talking about Russell Crowe here, by the way.
And I said, yeah, as a matter of fact, yes, that is the best I can do. I didn't say that, but that's really what got my blood boiling. So she went home and I waited, and we took it outside, and I got a severe beating, but I got one good punch in, and yeah, it was worth it. And then I actually did run. Oh, and I was running and his bodyguards are chasing me. And you know those guys from New Zealand, the Maoris? You know those guys that do you watch rugby? You know the guys that go, yeah, you know those guys? So I'm being chased by one of these fellas. He's about 6, he's huge. And I run 3 blocks, and I get to the corner, and I turn around and go, oh yeah, stop. And he was at least 400 pounds. He was huge and tall and big. And I was like, hey, stop. And he was, and I was like, I say, what's your name? And he goes, Kevin.
Kevin the Maori.
Kevin the Maori. I said, hey Kevin. I said, Patrick. I said, Kevin, look, you can chase me all you want. I run 6 miles every single day, Kevin. I can run all the way to the beach and you're not going to catch me. And Kevin says, that's okay, mate, but we know where you work. I said, good point. And I turn around the corner and Kevin turns around and he walks away. And I go around, it's on 20th Street, and I get around the corner and I just go. I vomit everywhere from the adrenaline and the bile. I've never ran 6 miles in my life. Those 3 blocks that I ran was the furthest I've ever ran in my entire life. You just have to use your brain, that's all. Kevin the Maori. I was more afraid of Kevin the Maori than I was of Russell Crowe. You couldn't make this stuff up, right? Any other questions?
Did follow that up? Did you ever hear from Russell afterwards?
We did. We did. We're in Australia.
Yeah, we're in Australia. We go over there, and a reporter came to the show, and he wrote a little piece about us, and he was very interested, of course, in Patrick punching Russell Crowe. And Russell Crowe was actually born in New Zealand, but lives in Sydney, Australia. And you know, whenever he wins an Oscar, he's their golden Australian boy. But when he does something wrong, he's New Zealand. So they come and what is it, the Sydney Herald or something like that. And he wrote this article, and the headline to the article was "Paddy whacked our gladiator." And Russell Crowe denies it happened.
Steve said he'd get back to the Titanic. What were you going to share about the?
Okay, Titanic. We'll do that little story. We were playing in the pub in Santa Monica in the back room, and we went out and did this little festival, the Los Angeles Irish Festival, and we were one of the small bands. We were in, I call it the hay bale stage, you know, way out on the outskirts of the festival, and we played at their party the night before, the Dance Cayley. We were the band there, and we had drunk more at the bar. Our bar tab was bigger than our payment for the show. So the organizers of the festival were after us the next day to cover the overage on our bar tab. So we were avoiding them most of the day. We were sort of hiding and things. And we actually didn't make it to the grounds on time because we'd stayed up late practicing. And we got down and the grounds were already closed and we couldn't get our vehicle and so we got to the stage late. We had to run across the grounds with all our gear. We had no roadies or anything back then. There was no help. We were carrying all our own gear. And we set up on stage, and that thing happened again. You know, it was 12 o'clock noon. The sun, there was no shade. You know, we're very fair-skinned Europeans here, folks. Sun was beating down on us. It was hot. We were hungover. And the second we got playing, we were having the time of our lives again. There was a couple of random musicians playing with us on stage. There was Irish wolfhounds down the front, enjoying themselves, a few kids, you know, people were dancing. And at that exact moment, the musical director for the movie Titanic, the pending movie Titanic, was scouting the grounds because he needed a band for this one scene where they go down below decks and the spirit of the whole boat, and this band had to somehow convey the spirit of the third-class steerage passengers. And he was scouting the whole festivals and looking around and hadn't found anything that he liked. And on his way out, he heard a djembe, boom, boom, in the distance. So he came over to the stage, and to this day, I laugh at what he encountered. Like this complete mess of people on the stage, barely dressed properly that day. I think, t-shirts on inside out, and our piper at the time he was playing the uilleann pipes, the Irish pipes, and they're very susceptible to the sun, right? So he, in order to protect the pipes from the sun, he'd taken a tablecloth, a round tablecloth, one of the ones where, there's an umbrella goes through the middle, and somehow he got it off that table, and he's put his head through the tablecloth through the hole, in the middle of it, and he had the tablecloth draped over his pipes, so he was sitting there like a headless person. The Irish wolfhounds were running up and down. Half the stage was playing one set of tunes, the other half was playing a different set. We didn't care. We were having the time of our lives. And he just stood there in absolute astonishment. And then afterwards, he gave us his card. He gave it to Steve Waymeyer in the band. And Stevie came over to me, he's like, look at this. Because I worked in the movie industry at the time. I was a graphic designer and art director. And in Los Angeles, everybody's got a script in their back pocket. Everybody's got something, they're trying to get something. And so we dismissed it as but then I look at this card, and I'm like, this is a really nice card. It's 4-color, it's gold embossed. This is an expensive card, 20th Century Fox, it said on it. And the guy said, hey, I'm interested in you guys for this movie that's coming out. And sure enough, it was the real thing. So that's how they found us. They came to the pub, they videotaped us at the pub. And actually, this is, carry on with it. So, he videotaped, don't pick up on anything, trust me. And we need a demo recording just to can you play some music that would have been around at that time, 1910-ish? So we put a few tunes together, we did the best job we could, and our friend had a studio, Sheppy in the band, had a studio, we went in and we did this, as polished as we could, and we gave them this. And they'd been down to the pub and videotaped us, and everybody was dancing, and we were, And they come back to us and they go, well, we listened to this recording, and then we looked at the videotape, and the videotape's amazing, look at this. And then we'd listen to the recording, it's like, yeah, He said, what's the difference between the two? And I said, about 8 pints of Guinness. He's like, fantastic. You're in Sony Studios in 2 weeks' time to record the music for the scene in Titanic. Bring your friends, bring Guinness.
So we did. But it was at the same time that we were still managing the bar, so we went down to the storage unit in the bar, and I got out some cans of Guinness, and we get up to Sony Studios. It's Sunday morning, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and the security guard says, oh hey sir, you can't bring beer into the studio. But I had a 24-pack, right? And I was like, Randy told us to bring beer. Randy's the director. And I was like, Randy said, and then Randy comes out and he goes, no, it's okay. And Randy says to me, I see you brought some beer for the band. I said, no, this is mine.
And sure enough, every one of us had a 24-pack.
He goes, that's funny. And then he saw me, we all kind of walking like that. No instruments, just a minute.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so we go down to Mexico, we shoot the scene in Mexico, and we were there for 10 or 12 days, and we were told, don't be surprised if you don't end up in the movie, because the movie's already 6 hours long and we're going to have to cut everything, so the scene may not make it into the movie. And then when it came out, before it was released, they have a pre-release party and they invited every person. James Cameron was up in Century City in Los Angeles, and it's a 2,000 seat movie theater, beautiful place. And James Cameron is standing outside and he's greeting every carpenter, every electrician, every, you name it, every gaffer, everything. And he's, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we're all lined up. And he goes, oh, Gaelic Storm. I'm like, oh, you remember us? And he goes, I said, are we in the movie? And he went, oh, you're in for a surprise. Because they didn't want to remove that scene. It was voted the best scene in the movie. It was voted the best scene. Which means we beat the iceberg.
All right, thank you everybody. We're going to call a whole group. Thank you so much. Great questions, and enjoy the show. Make sure you come back to us next year. Thank you.